Good morning, Grigori High. I'm Bertila Kurji.
And I'm Monica Chua. Today is Friday, April 9th.
Today on JNN, Grigori welcomes students back to campus in the hybrid model.
Juna Sharma is in the sports box, highlighting the first sports season, as well as the first 3 football games.
All this and more on today's JNN.
The Grigori Yearbook staff is currently working hard to create the 2021 yearbook. They are currently welcoming any and all photos of sports that are currently in season. Please submit your photos to Ms. Williamson. The deadline to purchase and place senior tribute ads has been extended to April 14th. Go to this address and enter our school code, which is 16218. Grigori opened the doors for many students this past week. Hybrid learning gave the students the opportunity to come back to campus and continue with the classes. Let's take a look. Hybrid learning is now an option for many students at Grigori High. On Monday, March 29 of 2021, it was the first day that many students came back to campus for the first time during the 2021 school year.
I'm just excited that we're at that point of the year. It is a lot of planning to do where you're planning the start of school and the end of school at the same time. But to me, it's so worth it because the students are back on campus. And every staff member got into education because we like working with students. And it's not fun when it seems like everything's on a computer. The personality relationship piece is not there as much. So I'm just excited students have the ability to come back to campus.
I feel great about returning to school and seeing kids in person. I really had to just think through each class and think about what's going to happen from the time kids start walking in the door to those times when we're transitioning to a new activity, or I can't forget about the kids that are on my screen and then the ones that are in front of me. So just thinking through everything that I could, knowing that there were going to be other things that would come up.
I'm pretty excited about it. It's better than doing nothing at school. I feel like I could pay attention more, definitely.
I'm really excited to see faces and to see smiles with their eyes.
My first period, it was great, honestly. It was a lot more one-to-one with the teacher, so I got a little bit more help. It helps my grade, so I'm able to get good grades and pass my classes.
It was nice talking to another person in class and not being at home on my computer screen by myself. So I thought it went pretty well.
Due to the hybrid model, the capacity of the rooms were lowered by half, allowing only certain students to come back.
Under the hybrid model, our current guidelines that we're given are students need to be in cohorts at the high school level. What that means is we're allowed to have 50% capacity in the rooms, and so whatever a teacher's room size is determines their capacity. So Monday, Tuesday, cohort A are on campus, where everybody else is distance learning Wednesday through Friday. And then it switches where Monday through Wednesday is cohort B is distance learning, and then they're in person on Thursday, Friday. So we have to do the 2 cohort models.
I only get to literally see my students once a week. But literally, when I say it's better than nothing, I don't just mean it's better than nothing. I mean this is good stuff.
It's estimated that 448 students attended campus this Monday for the first time in the school year.
I remember walking into a senior class and there was one student, and I walked into a freshman class and it seemed like it was everyone. Half their class was in there.
I was really skeptical at first because I didn't know how it was going to be, and I didn't know if I'd have a lot of friends in this cohort, but I found my friends in my cohort and it's really fun, and I honestly think that it's been pretty good, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen down the road.
So it's definitely a huge dynamic for the teacher. The bulk of the students are either in front of them or they're on the computer.
As much as we want to focus with these beautiful faces who are in front of us, we still have beautiful faces that are not in front of us that we got to take care of.
It was challenging at times, just trying to teach the kids at home and the kids right in front of me.
Given the situation, safety guidelines had to be followed by students and staff. The school provided mask and hand sanitizer at the school entrance, making it easier for students and staff.
For safety guidelines, having people congregate in the hallway, it would have created, an issue with, people heading the wrong direction potentially more, and also lingering next to each other as they're doing lockers. It was just for safety guidelines. It was one of those that all the high schools in Modesto decided together that we'll all stand together and no lockers.
Most of the students have been very cooperative. I think they get a little frustrated because they have to go all the way around the building, and especially when the class is right there. But I haven't had really any problems, just a lot of rolled eyes.
Wearing a mask I thought would be the hard part, but the hard part is trying to stay 6 feet away because you're seeing your friends and stuff, but the mask isn't that bad, arrows aren't that bad. It's pretty good.
I saw students, they were wearing their masks, they were walking through path of travels they were supposed to be. I think the students that are here want to be here and they're willing to follow the rules in order to keep that.
We have to make sure that our kids are spaced apart. We have to have them in alphabetical order. And we have to make sure that our surfaces are cleaned in between kids. So I have them do that.
They keep us sectioned off in the classroom and advise us to use hand sanitizer and wipe our desks down at the end of every period. So I'd say they're doing a pretty good job of keeping us safe.
I know we have to walk in a certain path to get to classes, and I think that's a really good thing. But when I think about it, it's kind of, it's not the best, because if you have a class right next to each other, you can't really put it in reverse and walk backwards. You have to walk all the way around the building again. But I think it's just trying to keep everyone safe.
I thought the arrows and stuff would be hard, but it's way easier. It's flowing nicely and kind of liking it. It's good to be back.
Reporting for JNN, this has been Monica Ochoa.
Interact Club is collecting toiletries for the Gospel Mission the week of April 12th. Please bring donations to room C213 or room N106. There will also be after-school collection drive-thrus on April 13th and 15th from 3:30 to 4:30 in the front parking lot. Please help make a difference in our community. The Grigori Library is closed, but they are offering services through the book room windows. Students can pick library books that have been placed on hold, pick up or return textbooks, or pay book fines. The book room windows are open before or after school from 7:45 to 9:10 in the morning and 3:10 to 3:45 in the afternoon. Sports are finally returning to Grigori High. Let's go to Jenna Sharma in the sports box for more details.
What's up, Jags? I'm Jenna Sharma coming to you from the JNN Sports Box. The first season of sports just recently ended and the football season is underway. But first, a review of Season 1 sports. Cross country completed their season on March 17th after competing in only 3 meets, each hosted by Grigori.
We've got a season. I'm grateful. Kids are grateful. Parents are grateful. Definitely the parents, because this is better than nothing. Hands down better than nothing, and then no complaints right there. So I'm definitely bummed for our seniors because they're used to traditional cross country, having a full 12 weeks, invitationals, all that good stuff that comes with cross country. So little, like I said, bummed, but I'm happy they got this at least. I wish they had a normal season. I really do think that with some of our particularly Manny athletes, I think we had a potential state champion.
I had a lot of mixed emotions, and I haven't had nearly as many practices, or I haven't trained nearly as much this season. Obviously, because circumstances are very different. It's a little sad. We kind of missed out on a lot of important races this year, but I just wanted to make the most of it. I really wanted to go for top 3 in state this year. That kind of stuff was really frustrating, kind of hard to get past it. But once I kind of got past it, I just focused on these meets, and I just decided I was going to have fun with it. My last season, senior season of cross country, I wanted to see what I could do. I didn't really get to do that, but the good thing that came out of it was that I just got to spend a lot of time with my teammates, and time that, I'm really grateful for, because this is is my last year with them.
You know, they need that competition. They want it. It's the reason why we went cross country, to compete, you know, and to have the camaraderie with the team, you know, be competitors, because this is better than nothing. You know, hands down, better than nothing.
Touch on me! Touch on me! 1, 2, 3, yes!
Even though Maddie Cackley and the cross-country team did not get to experience a full season, Cackley will continue her running career at UC Davis starting in the fall. Golf ended their season on March 17th. Match scores were not provided and the team focused on having fun and using the time they were given to their advantage. I worked with Monica Ochoa to present to you this brief look at the team.
On March 12th of 2020, everything shut down at Grigori, and coming back to campus to have the season during winter came as a surprise to many.
I wasn't expecting to come back, honestly. I thought it was closed deal. I thought we weren't going to come back, and I was like, okay, well, I won't pick up the club.
I was shocked because I had no clue there was even talk about being able to play.
Just like any other sport, a lot of changes were made, so adaptations were needed.
So I knew my family couldn't come out and watch me, my friends couldn't come. I knew that I wouldn't be as close to the girls as I could. There'd be no fun road trips with Coach just because we couldn't be with him.
Everyone was thrilled to have a season, no matter what the new regulations were, and their coach, Rob Steves, was proud to be leading the Lady Jags for one last year.
Oh, it's just time, 37 years of teaching and coaching. It's been awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better school, better people to work with, better athletes, better students. But it's just time to do something different.
The top 3 Grigori golfers for this season are McKenna Epster, Mimi Wang, and Layla Toledo. Great job, Lady Jags.
Special thanks to Rob Steves for the many years of coaching, counseling, and teaching, and for always putting his full effort into the team and classroom. J&M wishes you the best for you in your retirement. Next up, varsity boys tennis performed a total of 10 matches with an impressive record of 9 wins and 1 loss. The team ended their season on March 18th. Bertil Alkurji tells us more about the tennis season and new regulations due to COVID-19.
The biggest changes are definitely the mask, and one that's not as noticeable is each player gets a certain set of balls for each match, so you can't really touch the other players' balls or anything like that, just to make sure everybody's safe.
It's pretty difficult for the boys to play with a mask. The good thing is they're allowed to take time and pull the mask down in order to take a breath or catch their breath. Singles players have to use their own tennis balls, so they're either going to mark them with their initials, so that way they're not having to touch their opponent's tennis balls.
The coach and the players are all doing a really good job staying 6 feet apart and making sure we're as healthy as we can be while having fun playing at the same time.
During practice, we always have to stay a certain distance apart, and then which has kind of hindered the way practice works, but for the most part, we've been able to maneuver around it and make it work for the best that we can.
This is my first year coaching at Grigori High School. I do have 12 years experience coaching high school tennis.
We've had a few coach switchovers throughout the 4 years that I've played, but every single one has seemed to be good and bring something new to the table, and so far it's been really fun. If you're down in a match and you're frustrated, he'll pull you aside and make sure, help you calm down, give you some pointers, and he never really gets mad at you for doing bad.
He even offered to do a private lesson with me on the weekend, and he's given us a lot of tips and stuff to help us become better tennis players.
He's a pretty positive guy, so it's been a really good influence on the team and everybody on the team.
Really good group of guys. You know, it's kind of a short season because of COVID. We're not going to have playoffs or anything, but it's all about having fun and getting the kids being competitive and giving them something to do.
There were a couple kids that came out to me and they knew I was a freshman, and I hardly know anyone on the team, but they came out, gave me a hand, and showed me what I needed to know, and made new friends that way.
Usually there's a lot more people that would come out, mostly parents and stuff that would come to see the match, but due to this whole pandemic, it's been really hard for them to come out and support. So it's just a little bit more quiet than normal.
If the parents are around the kids, everybody has to wear a mask. So if the parent drops the player off, then they have to go back to their car or whatever. They can watch, but they're not allowed to come up and watch matches like they used to.
I was looking forward to the season last year and being able to play in my final year, and I'm really happy. For the most part, it panned out.
It's been a tough year for everyone, so you guys just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll get you back.
Reporting for JNN, this has been Bertil Alkurji.
The swim team had a short season this year, and Kayla Newen was there to cover it. Let's take a look.
While waiting in confusion on whether or not they would even have a season, Grigori's swim team still practiced in the meantime with hope to return. Since their prior season was cut short, the possibility of having another one was doubtful. Though, as soon as they were cleared for meets, the team was ecstatic to hear the good news.
I was really excited because last year the season was shorter, and this year I was definitely thinking we weren't going to have a season. So I was really excited to compete and be able to see my friends for the first time in a year.
Without COVID, the swim team could have had up to 8 meets, but because of the unfortunate pandemic, there were a total of 5 meets this season. Top swimmer Corbin Wong secures another win on his 200 medley at the game versus Enox. Like Corbin Wong, Sophia Lazarga is one of many seniors whose last year of high school sports was altered completely due to COVID-19's guidelines.
Well, as a senior, again, bittersweet, but I'm just really thankful for all the people I got to meet and all the people I got to become close with. It was just really nice to have that sense of like a second family other than my swimming club. So I don't know, I'm just really thankful I got the experience at least.
From left to right are seniors Cassandra Carranza, Marika Jacoby, and Anya Gutowski competing in the 100 freestyle and finishing in the top 3, beating Enox.
Thankful I got to do swim throughout the 4 years. I kind of thought I didn't really get the junior season, but I'm still really glad I was able to be part of the team and be able to just meet all the people that I got to meet.
Though all squads were defeated at their first meet, their games later on have been won by varsity and JV teams alike. Reporting for JNN, this has been Kaylin Lane.
And finally, football. Jags have competed in their first 3 games of their short season, and JNN has been there to capture it. Let's take a look.
Grigori football returned to the playing field under COVID guidelines on March 16th at home against Modesto, March 26th on the road against Pittman, and on April 1st at home against Downey. 3 games, 3 very different outcomes. With the crowd size reduced to players' families, mask requirements in place, and social distancing the norm, Grigori began its 5-game season with a big win over the Panthers of Modesto for the traditional Cat-Fight game. Jaden Miller rushed the first touchdown of the season, followed by number 3 Guillermo Perez. Modesto scored their first touchdown of the game before junior quarterback Cruz Marina scored the next 8. First quarter score, 22-6.
In the beginning, I think we were all hyped up. You know, we scored, 3 touchdowns the first quarter, and then we kind of a little settled down. We got a little too satisfied, and then once the second half came, we're all fired up, and then we just kept scoring and kept scoring.
Herman rushed for a 60-yard touchdown in the third quarter. 2 passing touchdowns by number 14 Reginald Foster and Herman, which left the third quarter score 34-12. Modesto completed a rushing touchdown after 2 more from Miller and Herman. Last touchdown of the night was Grigori's number 12 Ryan Wittergren. Final score of the game, 54-20.
For the first game, I thought we played really well. We were sloppy at times. We made some mistakes in some key moments, but I thought in the second half we really pulled it together and were able to close the game out.
I think I performed pretty well. You know, I think it was, for me, it was a slow start. You know, I had to get a few plays in to keep going, and then once the second half came, that's when I turned it on.
Junior Cruz Marinas was recognized for his performance, having 217.5 passing yards, which brought him to a total of 286.5 yards.
Going into this season, Cruz had already got a little bit of attention based on his sophomore year. There was already some excitement about him coming in as a junior quarterback.
The first game of the week, it was a very exciting one, and it kind of put me on the map, and it was really cool to see how many people saw the things that we were able to do.
Based on his performance, he was a candidate for the Modesto B Player of the Week, which is huge. I don't think we've had that in a while.
When I found out about that, I was surprised because I never thought that something like that would happen. It was really cool seeing that I was noticed for the things that we did and how I played. It was a really great feeling.
It's about being humble, staying focused on your upcoming opponent.
It's just been a very different year, but it's making it all the more special.
Game 2 against Pittman at Joe Dudley Stadium would prove to be much different from the Catfight, losing to the Pride 48-20 and placing us in 4th in league standings.
In the Pittman game, we We came in with really high heads, especially because of how well we played against Modesto High the week prior. So we came in thinking we were going to do the same exact thing, and I think we honestly were a little bit too confident.
We had some guys missing for spring break, and throughout the game they were pretty physical, so we were getting banged up. Even with everything that happened, there were still opportunities there that we didn't capitalize on. We had a lot of drop balls, missed tackles.
We've got a really young team this year, barely a handful of seniors. A lot of them chose not to play at this point, and there were a lot of younger guys that were not eligible. The guys who are here right now are the guys that truly have a passion for this game and are committed to what we started.
Senior night took place last Thursday at home against Downey.
The game went well today. I thought that the men fought well, fought hard. At the end of the day, you lose some and you win some. Today we fell short. Things that we can get better on is just limiting the mistakes in the game, making sure that we're staying focused and executing the plays.
The game got off to a slow start with a 0-0 score at the end of the first quarter. Downey scored the first touchdown of the game in the second quarter, and Marina scored Gregori's first touchdown in the third quarter, tying the game. Downey scored 9 more points before this 75-yard pass completion to Trevion McClendon for a touchdown. Score 14-16. McClendon caught another Marinas pass, this time in the end zone, to put the Jags up 21-16. Downey scored the final touchdown with 43 seconds on the clock, followed by a 2-point conversion. Final score of the game, 21-24.
They didn't do anything that we didn't think they were going to do. Like I said, I think that the mistakes hurt us tonight. The boys fought all night, and you can't ask for anything more than that when they're fighting quarter 1 through quarter 4. So we fought hard, but the mistakes kill us.
The Jags travel back to Joe Dudley Stadium tonight to face the 3-0 Turlock Bulldogs. Game starts at 7 p.m. Reporting for JNN, this has been Bertil Alkurgi.
Well, that's it for JNN Sports Box. I'm Jenna Sharma, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jenna.
Well, that's it for today's JNN. I'm Bertil Alkurgi.
And I'm Monica Ochoa. See you next time, Jags.